You can laugh. It's okay. I don't take myself seriously because I feel like that's how they get you, you know? They make you pay taxes and then they tell you you can't be silly and it's like, well, how's it supposed to be worth it, you know? Adulthood is hard, is the point. And that's the real reason why I like to do these like open kind of panels. I don't like for people to feel like, oh, I'm gonna go learn something, or I'm gonna go do something. I want us to have a discussion, a conversation, because I think at the end of the day, that's really the thing that helps people connect to each other, you know, just like a conversation. When I'm on my tours, I tell people all the time that Philadelphia was made for naps, snacks, and religious liberty. That's it. That's our wheelhouse. We're not good at anything else other than naps, snacks, and religious liberty. But I say that, and I know I tell people all the time when I'm on my tours, I'm like, I know it sounds silly, but it's really like a philosophy. You know, people do not go to sleep or nap around people that they don't trust. You just can't. We're humans, you know, we're very much a wide eye, you know, eyes front predator kind of species. So we're very acute with who we trust and who we allow ourselves to put our guard down around. Snacks. I know it sounds silly, but that's how you get all your friends. If you really think about it, like every time you've made a friend, you've shared a snack with them, you know? And you don't share food with people you don't like. That's just true. I mean, like I was on a bus the other day and I had a bunch of kids for a private tour, and I would, you know, said the nap, snacks, and liberty thing, and then I asked them, I was like, how many of you have denied a person a snack because you don't like them? Like, they're like, can I get some chips? And you're like, I only got like 7. Sorry. And they all raised their hands, and I'm like, so it's a human thing. It's a universal human thing. The naps, the snacks, the liberty, you know? And for the liberty, it's very simple. People need to express themselves. That's why people do art, you know? That's how we connect with each other, is through art. If you don't allow people to do their art, then they don't feel safe around you. If they don't feel safe enough around you, they're not gonna nap, and they're definitely not gonna share their snacks. So those 3 things I think are like the crux of all human experience. And if that's true, then that means that that's also like the crux of art, you know, because art is how humans express themselves. So with all of that philosophy in mind, I always like to ask people, you know, when they put on their cosplays, why are you putting on your cosplay? Who are you putting on your cosplay for? You know, are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for the kids that are going to see you in your Spider-Man outfit, or in your, you know, in your Goku, or, you know, in your, you know, culturally relevant superpower hero of the time? Like, are you doing it for your friends who want, you know, to be Homestuck kids, but they don't have any Homestuck kids to be Homestuck with, you know? Those things and the reasons why people do art, I think, are really important. But I also think that a lot of people don't know why they're doing their art. And instead of producing art, we end up producing content. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that make sense? You guys feel that when you're like doing stuff?
Yes.
Like, I want to make something, but you're like, I don't want to make something, you know?
Yeah.
I want to do something. I want to have fun with the thing. So I think that that's something that, A, I wanted to talk about, and B, that I wanted to explore just through some stories that I know I have about cosplay, but also if you guys wanted to share your stories about cosplay and why you cosplay, I would love that. So does anybody want to share anything about why they cosplay? When they like, I'm going to go do something. Like, am I going to share?
Be a vigilante.
To be a vigilante? I have never seen Sunday and Batman in the same room. And I've known them for like 10 years. I'm really thinking about that now. You might be. You might be a Power Ranger. You are always wearing black. Oh, sorry. All right, fair enough. I'll keep my mouth. But what about you guys? Like, I see the eye contact is always when I'm like...
At first, I did it out of spite.
Out of spite? You know what? That's a good one though. Go ahead.
So, crazy thing was, I saw, I don't know if anybody remembers Sci-Fi's show, Heroes of Cosplay.
Yes, I did. I heard about it, but I didn't get a chance to watch
Yaya
it.
Han. You know,
Yeah.
I saw her work, saw them, I thought, I want to be a part of that. So I'm like, you know what, let me try just something small, something simple, let me just go with Naruto. You know, your basic stuff.
Yeah.
But other people that were around me, they just saw me and said, no, you should be Choji or this character. I'll admit, I'm big, so they thought just do big.
You got typecast essentially by the people around you. Like, hey, you're this type of person. You should do this type of cosplay.
So I was like, but I would really like to do this. I'm like, but they're like, yeah, but I think you suit more like it's the old school body shaming classic.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I don't know if I can curse, but I'm not gonna say it. There you go. And then I went ahead and said, I'm going to just do the cosplay I want to, and I started with just straight Levi on Attack on Titan.
Nice. I love that. Yes, a Levi. Nice, strong, DGAF character. Because he does not care. Right? Levi does not care about you or anything you got going on. He cares about the mission. And I appreciate that about Levi. Excellent character.
Then honestly, after that, I just said, you know what? I like the fact that I did that. Then I just said, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing it anyways. Who's going to stop me? Who will stop?
As Megan Thee Stallion said, I don't care if you don't like me. So I'm pretty cool. And then she laughed. That's what she did. Laughed. I'm proud of you. Good job. Starting your cosplay because someone else has expectations of you and you want to break those is a healthy thing, I think. It's very important for you as a person to recognize your individuality and your space, you know, and being typecast, especially when you are of a certain body type. Like me, I'm a small human being. I am a small person. I have, in D&D, one-handed weapons or two-handed weapons for me, like small, you know? And so I can attest to that, I can feel that, especially when there are certain characters that are brought out in media and they're like, oh, this is your representation, you guys. And it's like, yeah, it is, but that doesn't mean that as an individual that is my representation. So shout out to you for being your own person. That's lit. Does anybody else want to share? You share? Yes.
I feel like my reason is just like a little bit more basic. But it's just something that really brings me joy. Like I remember I have like memories of like when I was in middle school and I saw this one particular, like I had known anything about cosplay before. I saw like at a convention someone had cosplayed Katara and they had like a ribbon that they were kind of like twirling around and it looked like
a waterbending
right,
ribbon, yeah.
Exactly. And I don't know why, but that like blew my mind and I'm like, oh my gosh, but that's so cool.
Yeah, you got inspired. You're like, I need to create
that. And then I have this really distinct memory of like I had my hair like straightened, but I had kind of had like bed head, and so like, and I had like long sleeve shirt. I walked by the mirror and I was like, hold on, I look like Elle. And so from there, kind of like the seeds were planted out, and I knew that like when I grew up and had the money and the means, like that's something that I wanted to pursue.
To create, right? And like I can see myself in spaces, and I can see what I like to call them my AU selves.
Right.
That's an excellent thing. I love that. Creating out of inspiration is always going to be pure, always going to be good, and especially when, like you said, it was before you knew anything about it, for real, you were young, so you got a chance to like genuinely absorb it, which is amazing. Like I started cosplaying when I was, how old were you? I don't know how old I was. Hey, Eden. How old was I? Dang, 28? Was it 2018? We went to,
You cosplaying?
Was I? When?
You were cosplaying when?
I don't believe that.
2015 and 2016.
You're not wrong.
Like literally right before.
You're not wrong. Right before. That's why the timeline is money for me. Okay. Hey, before I share why I cosplay and the reason why my timeline is money, does anybody else want to share their reasons?
So I'm a younger cosplayer. So when I started cosplaying, it was like 2019, 2020, peak like. TikTok
inside the house TikTok times.
TikTok Danganronpa cosplayers, and I just saw them, and I was like, oh my god, that could be me. I want to do that. And I'm very fortunate to have money to afford
on it. Yeah.
And so being able to express myself or make myself into that character is such like a great like thing for me. It's so like therapeutic almost.
Yes, absolutely. That's excellent. That's a perfect segue and intro to why I started cosplaying. 2020 was also a crazy time. If you're alive right now, if you're out there and you're watching, if you're alive, and you survived 2020, I'm proud of you. If no one else tells you, I am. I'm very proud of you. Because that was sardine time, okay?
Yeah.
We were in the can. It was closed, and it was tight.
Yeah.
But you all are still here, and I'm grateful for that because that means you guys get to share your experiences and share your art. And that's more important, I think, than know right now, especially because of what and how the world went through. Such a moment of like genuine isolation. The fact that you found cosplay like in that moment speaks, I think, to the community around it. So like that's amazing. Yeah, as an outlet, it's like, and we all know this is cosplay. It's one of the most freeing things. It feels like you are not, outside yourself, but ascending into like a newer form of yourself, And I started cosplaying in 2015, 2016 actually, for art therapy specifically, because I have dissociative identity disorder. And it's a little bit more understood now that we've had some media around it, and there's been a couple of movies that have tried to like tackle what it's like to have DID. I've been telling people since it came out, there's a really good, there's two really good pieces of media I think that show you exactly what having DID is like. United States of Terra is one of the first things that came out that was based around what dissociative identity disorder is like. And if you're like, what the hell is that, dude? It's essentially what people used to think multiple personality disorder was, but it's a little bit more complex than that. Everybody in their life goes through trauma. That's a thing. If you're like, no, I did it. If you were alive during the panini, yeah, you did. Like, every day there's something that hits us, either our bodies or our spirits or our minds, that's just a little bit hurtful, just a little bit off, just a little bit too much. And when you are very young, and your brain isn't like a complex puzzle yet, when it's just like a smooth rock inside your skull, it's very easy to break it, and it's very easy to fracture your developing personality. And when I was younger, I have no idea what happened, because that memory is blocked and locked and erased for me. But at some point when I was younger, my brain decided that it could not handle whatever was happening, and it just split into three big chunks. There was the me chunk, the Bianca chunk is what I call it. There was the Evelyn chunk, which is like all the information and like all of the like observation things around. That's white, this is a rectangle, those are shirts, you are people, like that chunk. And then there was the emotions I can't handle chunk. Anger, fear, resentment, anything that could be deemed negative to other people. And that's a chunk of my brain. As I got older, those chunks split into what I like to call pie slices, depending on a couple different things. There were some moments in my life where there were people around me who exemplified pie slices. And so my brain did their best to copy the things that they saw and make it into that pie slice. This will make this slice fit into the pie. So we'll just label it that. This will make this slice fit into the pie. So we'll just label it that. And so forth on until I ended up with moments where I would not really there we go. I ended up with moments where like I would not really remember how I got there, or not really remember what was going on, or people would tell me, "You did this crazy thing," and I'd be like, I was like, man, what are you talking about? And I don't remember that. What are you saying? And they'd be like, no, I have pictures of that. And I'm like, my pictures of me doing what? Because I don't believe you. And there were moments in my life where I just like could not reconcile the difference, because Bianca, was essentially asleep. And another character, another part of my brain would be awake. And that's what this dissociative identity disorder is like. When you get triggered, quote unquote, when something happens, your brain goes, okay, well, shut that off, shut that on, because this doesn't work for that, and this does. And it goes like that until you are one of two ways. You are either a functional system. Have you ever seen Inside Out? Seen Inside Out? That's an excellent representation of what my brain looks like at any point in time. There's like 6 of us, and we're all sitting at a dais trying to like navigate the world outside. And Inside Out is a great one. United States of Terra is another really good one that talks about what it feels like to kind of turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off. And my favorite one so far is Doom Patrol, if anyone's ever seen it. Doom Patrol is a DC comic, actually, and it is based around the Robot Man and the slime lady. Her name is Rita. She's not really made of slime. She has body image issues, so she turns into a giant like sludge thing. It's a lot. But one of the characters' name is Crazy Jane. And Crazy Jane has DID, like I do. And the way that they portray Crazy Jane's DID is through each one of her alters having a different superpower. Which is really how, and when I first started watching, I was like, this is exactly it. Like, this is how it feels. It feels like sometimes I am quite literally Carmen Sandiego. Quite literally trying to make sure the police do not see me as I'm going around corners. Like, but sometimes I am very much lapis lazuli. I don't want to be around any human being whatsoever because I hate this planet. This planet has done terrible things to me, and I want it to disappear. Not really. I have indifferent feelings about it, you know. And then sometimes my brain is on Bulma mode, and I'm like, I have things to do, people to see. Quest to crush. Like my brain is always trying to make sure that I am in like a good space to do a thing. And at some point, it was trying too hard, and it was taking over my life. So I was not awake for months at a time. And someone else was. And I got in touch with therapists, and they were like, you need like an outlet for these people in your brain. Like, if they are feeling like they need to stop you from living your life so they can live theirs, quote unquote, then you need to figure out where their personality needs to exit. And I was like, I have no idea how to do that. I have no idea how to do that. She was like, well, everyone likes their own things. Everyone likes their own way of dressing, their own way of, making their food. Everyone likes their own things. Find out what your alter's like, and then let them do that. And I promise you it'll take up less time to do that than fighting against it. And one of my alters that I've had my entire life, her name is Lissa. Somehow she's heavily British. Don't know where that came from. Still trying to figure that out. I'm pretty sure it's Harry Potter's fault. I'm like 95% sure that's a Harry Potter problem. But Lissa has always been very much into fashion. And she loves to bound, essentially. She loves to find an outfit that's like, that looks like such and such's outfit. I'm wearing that today. And from that, I ended up doing casual cosplays. Lissa will be like, this person is acting crazy, and I think they need an outfit, so I'm just gonna go make them an outfit, and then maybe they'll stop acting crazy. And I'm like, that's an idea. And then I started casual cosplaying, and then there was a moment where one of my newer, what they're called fictive alters, when you watch a piece of media and your brain is broken, so you internalize the out of the character. Now you can't live without them. Now you're a kitty. Like, that's it. That's who you are now. Like, it's your whole personality. You have no choice. And for me, it was lapis lazuli. That was the one that broke me, essentially. I was good. I was chilling. I was fine. I had Sans. We were all right. Me and Sans were cool. I didn't have to worry about Sans popping out, making me wear a freaking skeleton mask every day because he needed ketchup, you know what I mean? But Lapis was like, I need to be blue. You are not blue and I need to be blue. So I painted my entire body blue one day without my like recognition. And when those pictures came out and I got to see the person in the cosplay, I was like, that is not me, bro. It was a crazy moment because but it was also so almost relieving, you know, because I looked at it and I was like, okay, A, this is really good. B, I don't really have any recollection of doing this, but I know that this is me because this is my body. And C, I feel better seeing this somehow. And I feel like that was that moment for me that helped me in my DID journey, and like in me cosplay the thing for me to do. Because once I recognized, like, I did that Lapis cosplay back in 2016. She never comes out anymore. She does not want to be out here. I don't know if it was because she took 3 hours to paint my body blue and she was like, that's wild, I'm not doing that again. Or like if it was just so satisfying to be outside as herself that she was like, I'm good, I don't need any more, you know? But that for me is why I cosplay. I have way too many alters for me to be as like cohesive and cogent as I am in public when I take my medication, okay? But I also think that that's like a really good indicator of how freeing this particular art form is. And I like to tell people, you know, it's hard to be yourself, but it's harder to be someone else. Yes.
I just realized, like, I was trying to think of what to say before when you asked why we did this, and I just realized I cosplay as characters that I don't want to be.
Oh, I love
like,
that.
Like a daughter, a student, a businesswoman. So I'm doing that all the time, and it's draining. Like, it's so draining. So when I get to cosplay as myself, finally, I feel like, I don't know, just like energized and like revitalized, and it's like an evolution of character. Like, this is my final evolution.
Right, it's one of those ones you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna let myself be, and then it comes out. Like, and that's amazing. I'm proud of you for that. Yes.
Kind of adding on to that, but also for me personally, I'm trans, and the amount of like euphoria I get from cosplaying like male characters, because people will be like, oh my god, it's Luffy, and I'll be like, yeah, I am totally a man, guys. I am totally a man. This is amazing.
Yes, because, and you know what, I love when we get a chance to like celebrate that moment where we are allowing ourselves to be ourselves, you know? And I think that that's something I always want people to remember about cosplay. It is not supposed to be for anybody else. It's supposed to be for you. If you want to do it with people, that's great, because now you're building a community, but you're always supposed to be going back to making sure that it's art, you know, because it's supposed to be an expression of who you are as a person, as an entity, who you want to be, who you don't want to be, you know, the thing that allows you to go, yeah, at the end of the day. So like, yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say that you're exactly right. I'm a pharmacist outside the cosplay community, and during the pandemic, I did not have a lockdown. I had to show up.
Yeah.
So cosplay is a way for me to help reduce stress and to take a break from reality. And as you said, it's basically to take care of my health and my well-being. It's not about impressing people. It's about making yourself feel good.
Yep.
And if you make it feel good with other people, even better, and you get to spread that kind of positivity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also too, I know that like sometimes it's one of those things where it's like, I want to do this thing, and I want to do it so badly that I'll get mad at myself if I don't do it right. If and when you come to that point in your cosplay, I encourage you to just stop for a minute. Just put that whole thing on pause. Because the one thing that I've been learning, and again, I've only been cosplaying since 2018. I found this, like 2015, 2016. I found this very late in my life. I'm 34 now. Is that true? I'm 34? Okay. Sorry. I'm like, wait, because time moves so fast. And I was like, I was just 12 I don't know what is going on. Like, I just graduated high school. What is happening? Where's 2007? Like,
I agree.
it was just here. Like, I had to remind myself the other day that I was like born in the 1900s. Fucked me up so bad. I was like, the 1900s? That was 24 years ago. At minimum. Like, at minimum. But no, yeah, the one thing that I've been learning about, like, projects, when you do them and you get to that point where you're like, as soon as you get mad with yourself, it's not fun anymore. It's now a task. And your brain is going to look at it like that until you let all your expectations about it go. And that's, I think, one of the hardest things, especially when you are doing conventions or you're outside cosplaying, because you're like, I need things to look a certain way in order for people to know that this is the cosplay, you know? But I do encourage you, and I encourage you to encourage others to let go of that feeling. Competitions are one thing. You know, you always want to put your best foot forward in a competition. That's one thing. But if you're just, like, outside, this dress does not have any stripes on it. I'm still Bulma. Like, I refuse to find a dress that has stripes on it because it took too long. So I didn't. I have a little wait on. This is my actual outfit.
Yeah, I see it now.
Bulma, you know?
Yeah.
But the dress doesn't have stripes. Do I care about it? No.
No.
No, I fucking don't. It's cold.
Still looks
It's a
good.
long sleeve dress.
I get the idea.
It's nice and thick. You know, I didn't want to mess it up too because I might use it for a Mrs. Claus dress later on. I don't know where that one is. But it's the same kind of dress. It's nice and thick and I like it. And it's a nice dress that I can use if I want to outside anyway. You know, it's one of the reasons why I love casual cosplay. So I'm like, I'm going to use that again. And I don't have to worry about like, oh, I can only wear this here or I can only wear that there. You know, you can mix it up and like, people will still know, you know? I was walking down the street with this jacket on and my scarf getting coffee and like 3 people just outside away from the con were like, are you Bulma? And I was like, when I finish the coffee, I will be. When I'm awake, yes, I will be Bulma. Right now, I'm blue and I'm tired, bro. Let me finish the coffee. But like, it's important to just remember to have fun. There's a lot of things, especially when you're an adult. You're not an adult fully yet.
Yeah.
Lucky kid, because you get the benefit of this collective room's experience. Don't let people tell you that you have to do shit you don't want to do, because that will make you old fast. I don't do anything I don't want to do. That's why I look like I'm 12, and I drink lots of water and I'm on my business. But seriously, don't do anything you don't want to do, because when you do stuff that you don't want to do, it drains your spirit and it drains your energy and it makes your skin angry. So don't do it, you know? When you are out in the city or out and you're like, or out at conventions and you see other people in the same cosplays as you, celebrate that fact. Because sometimes, especially when we get into that moment of, I like to call it the imposter syndrome slump, where you're like, I don't look like other people look. It's important to remember that you never have. Your whole life. You've always had a unique face. You've never looked like anyone else has ever looked on the planet. So why would you start now? You know? Yeah.
To that point, like with a lot of the cosplays I've done in the past, like I race bend them to kind of fit more to like, if this character were black, what would they look like? Like how could I mess around with the hair and like, you know, so I see exactly what you're saying when you say that, because I don't know, I feel like it also helps with me kind of getting more in the character.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
I can
mesh yourself with them. Exactly. And you know what, that goes back to my idea about like an AU self, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever you cosplay, and it's true for people, like all people, I think. Whenever you cosplay, you're accessing a piece of yourself. You know, there's an AU where that is, you are the Goku of the space. You are the Sonic in that universe. Like, fastest man alive. Right? This man, fastest man alive in the universe. You know? Which one? We don't know. But in his dreams, he definitely accesses it. Which is why he came out here like this today. You know? Like energy, I always think, finds you. And especially when it comes to like characters of different races or different shades of people, I like to say. Because I hate the word race. Because it makes me feel like we're in a competition. Not gonna lie, I'm like that's a trick. I can tell. That's a trick. So I've been consciously trying to say different shades of people.
Yeah.
Because fuck capitalism, it's not gonna get me. You know. I refuse to be in competition with my fellow human beings. Because this whole place sucks. So why would anyone want to win this? You know, we're just trying to survive. Naps, snacks, liberty. Right? That's it. That's all anyone really wants. When it comes to that, like, I think that's a really important thing to do. Like, find that space where you and the character meet, you know, and especially too, I think it's important for people who are not brown to do the same thing for brown characters. You know, to find that middle of the Venn diagram, because there are always going to be those overlapping things, and where the overlap happens is what matters, because everything outside is probably just physical. Like, probably just physical. You know what I mean? Like, I think about Jinx a lot.
Yeah.
From Arcane.
When you're talking about this, like, identity disorder, that's the first character that comes up.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do with it in season 2, because that, I'm trying not to cry right now, because like that's thought about and I was like, that's one of my favorite like things to see, is like accurate representation of circumstances that people have to go through, especially when it comes to PTSD or trauma. Because again, everybody goes through that little moment without, it may not be as intense as Jinx's moment, but everyone goes through like those little moments of like breaking, you know? Everybody has their, I like to call it their Steven moment, Steven universe, when like you realize that there's something bigger that you're doing in the moment, you know? You realize what you're doing, you know? Steven universe is one of my favorite things to like draw parallels to, because he's consistently and always evolving without even realizing that that's what he's doing, you know? Because of the trauma he's collecting. And I think it's a really good allegory to the way that we as people kind of like find ourselves and find our ways and find like little bits of us that we end up learning how to master and hone, you know? But everyone has their Steven moment where they realize like they can summon their shield, and it's not related to ice cream, you know? And that's important for people to have. And I'm really excited that not only y'all know that cosplay is like that thing that you can use, but that y'all are already acutely aware, you know, of that space that you have access to. So that's awesome. And it gives me a lot of hope. Because sometimes I talk to people and they're like, I cosplay because my friends hate me and I want them to like me. And I'm like, okay, well, get better friends.
Yeah.
Just get better friends. Just don't talk to those people anymore. And don't share your snacks with them, because they don't deserve your snacks. Go get new friends. You know? What time is
2:46.
2:46. Okay, cool. I didn't rant for as long as I thought I was going to rant for. But does anybody else have anything they want to share about their cosplay experiences out there in the world? Welcome to the new humans. Hang out in the back. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey, Spike. What up, though? I said, hey, Spike. What up, though? I love that. We were just talking about cosplays and why people cosplay and why we cosplay. And healthy ways to cosplay. And cosplay in general. Yeah.
I realized, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, you're always gonna have a vision and you always want to execute it and make it like 100 out of 100. But if it's like an 80 out of 100, just ride with it, just roll with it, just keep going. Like that mistake you made on your
passing.
Yes, like, that mistake you made on your makeup. All right, adds a different detail. Yeah, it's like a detour in your experience of cosplaying. Like people focus too much on trying to be like perfect with it. But all those little mistakes make you stand out from other cosplayers.
I agree with that. And I to add to that too, I think it's important too to remember that like we are human beings and not characters that have been drawn and edited and drawn and edited again. Like we have flaws. Like, our faces are not even. They look like no one else's face in the world. Our hair is going to be weird. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to have to find shoes that fit us. Like, you're going to have human moments, and it's so important not to, like, try to eschew those for the sake of a fictional character. Because they're not real, but you are. And you're the one that's bringing them to life. You know what I mean? So embracing those flaws, making those detours, like, that's so important. And I'm so glad that y'all pointed those things out. Yes.
To your point, I did make the mistake of sacrificing my comfort for cosplay last year. When I went to Comic-Con, I dressed as a Tana, and it came out so good. And I did the heeled boots.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was
God, that was it.
Because I got, obviously, like, I got a lot of compliments. People were taking pictures, and I was like, oh my god, you guys recognize who I am. I had blisters.
Yeah.
I had blisters from that weekend, so it was terrible. But I was really happy with how it came out, but it was...
Yeah.
Take care of yourself in the
to
process.
be on the devil's advocate side, Bernadette Peter did say in Roger Hammerstein's Cinderella, beauty knows no pain, girls.
That's true.
Beauty knows no pain, girl. She's struggling that corset on that girl. Oh my gosh. But no, yeah, I can dig that because I have chronic foot problems. My dad had princess and the pea feet. Like, this man could feel a pebble in a Doc Marten, okay? Like, he was just, he had to wear 2 insoles and 2 pairs of socks. Like, that's how sensitive and thin the soles of his feet were. And then my mom had, like, really bad, like, callus and bone issues. So, of course, fun me, I'm the firstborn. I get both of those things. I get terrible, like, I can feel every piece of sand on my foot if I'm not in a platform type shoe, princess and pea feet. But I also have like a proneness to calluses. Can I wear heels? Absolutely not. And it's fucked up because I'm 4'9". So like I would like to be taller. I would like to reach things when I'm in my convention hotel room because I have heels on and I can reach the top cabinet. But no, I gotta climb on top of the things. I gotta wear flat Converses everywhere. But I can run really fast, and if the zombie apocalypse starts, I won't have to worry about wearing heels because I'm being safe and comfortable to myself on a daily. You know, there are reasons I always think that we feel that limit. You know, we're like, I'm gonna do this, but that's fake. That's safe. That's fair. Human beings have these built-in like boundaries. You know, and some of them are good, some of them are fear, but some of them tell us things, and knowing when and how to make your cosplay comfortable for you is important because you're going to be outside all day, or you're going to be on the con floor all day, or you're going to be in a city you don't know walking around all day. You know what I mean? And you, especially when you're going like outside of your space to do a cosplay, be comfortable. You have no idea the amount of times that I've gone to friggin' MomoCon in like a leather jacket. I wore Carmen Sandiego to MomoCon and it was 90 degrees outside. I had this jacket on like a fool. This jacket, this trench coat, like a fool. My hotel, 6 blocks away from the con. Doesn't sound far, but it's far in 90-degree Georgia heat. Like, I almost died. I was like walking, trying to be cool with my scarf on and my fedora, and I got like halfway. To my hotel and just stripped off everything I was wearing. And I just like sat down on the sidewalk and said, was like, I'm never doing this to myself again. I'm dying right now. Why am I dying? For Carmen Sandiego? She wouldn't want me to die in the heat. Like, I was literally having a breakdown. MomoCon 2019. I was sitting on the side of the freaking road in Georgia near a Waffle House in a black t-shirt, black jeans, and like black boots for some dumb reason because I'm a fool and it's Georgia and I'm not paying attention because I'm from Philly. And I'm like literally like laying on the sidewalk like on this coach like I can't believe I did this to myself. Like I barely made it away from the park before I just like I'm gonna collapse. I'm just gonna collapse right here. I'm just gonna lay flat. Gotta lay flat. Because I fucked up and I wore a trench coat in 90-degree weather. So, comfort first. Learn from my mistakes. Comfort first. What other crazy faux pas have I done? Trying to think about like cosplay advice, things that I've learned that I'm like, yeah, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. Oh, I have a really good one for you. It's gonna sound random, but it's very true. Take out your contacts before you start drinking for the night. I'm famous for wearing crazy contacts, whiteouts. Can I see? Maybe. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Am I looking at you? Who knows? Doesn't matter. Point is, I look cool. That's the thing. But looking cool at Katsucon at 2 o'clock in the morning while you're drinking, don't know. Don't think that you need to do that. You know? I feel
like that wasn't me.
Yeah, right. That's one of those ones I'm like, I know that wasn't me. I have more sense than this. But I also know it wasn't. I also know Pearl from Steven Universe, one of my favorite alters that lives in my brain. I love her. She never wants to come out. She just wants to do paperwork. And I'm like, that's fine. Go bananas. Fix it all. Fix all the stuff up. Go ahead. You never have to come outside. I love that. Go for it. And I'm lucky in the fact that I have like an executive function that happens, you know? But most people don't have that. So if you are going to go out drinking at the con and you have on crazy contacts, take them off. So that way you don't end up seeing like in HD the second you do take them off. Because that's always what ends up happening to me. I'm like, I'll wear my crazy contacts and I start getting inebriated. I'm like, oh, I should take my contacts out, you know? And then I do. And then I'm seeing in HD for like the next 25 to 30 minutes because I've like, my vision is not adjusted. So, little small piece of, that's for you too. A little small piece of advice for you. Take your contacts out so you don't, you know, mess yourself up. Being able to see farther than you thought you could. This was awesome. I appreciate you guys being here. Let me ramble and rant at you for like half an hour. How long have we been in this room? An hour? An hour? Yeah. Did it feel like an hour?
No. It was a good rest, like just to, you know.
Okay, good. I like to keep things as casual as possible because A, I'm a procrastinator and I almost always forget what I'm supposed to be doing. Up until the last minute. But also because I know that sometimes a lot of these panels feel like, again, like you have to go learn something, you gotta go do something, and I'm real bad at that. I'm a comedian. I like to make jokes. I like to be funny. Because I feel like life is hard enough. Also, I look like an 8-year-old, so like, what are you gonna learn from me? You know? First impressions, at least, you know? But thank you for being here. Thank you guys for participating in this. I hope you guys learned a little bit of something from each other, for real, because y'all taught me some stuff. But I hope you learned a little bit of stuff from me too. And real quick before I get off the live, everybody say hi. Say hi to the live. This was awesome. It's gonna go in the archives, obviously. I have a table that's up in the very front of the con. When you first come in, it's got all that like art on it because people were like drawing stuff on there. That's my table. Because again, procrastinator. I didn't realize how big my table was gonna be. And I was like, how am I gonna fill this with stuff that I don't have? So I was like, I know what to do. Put down 4 poster boards and let people go bananas and enjoy their fruit. You know, I love to say that. I think that's gonna become my catchphrase. Go bananas, enjoy your fruit, you know?
Yes.
But you're gonna have to go bananas quickly because bananas spoil, you know? So if you wanna enjoy your fruit, get to it, you know what I mean? But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being here. And I hope you have fun and learn something today. Enjoy your naps and snacks and liberty out there in the city of Philadelphia. And if you see my big curly blue hair on top of a red double-decker bus, wave. Because that's where I be at. I be on that bus. The big one that goes around Center City.
I always see it on Market Street. I work on Market. I'm like, I want to do that.
If you see my big curly blue head, come on over. I'll give you a free ride.
Oh, I'll take you up for that.
Absolutely. But thank you guys again so much. I'm going to end my live and I'm going to release you out into the world. Enjoy the convention again. Thank you for being here. Make sure you go say thanks to Philly Otaku for giving us this space to use. Thank you, Sunday.